Are you guys feeling better?
What do you mean?
I mean, we was sick and then.
I wasn't sick.
I
was
know you weren't
working.
sick.
He was working.
The
I was
answer is
sick.
I never feel better.
You've reached the age where you're just a level of sick.
Yeah, but also I've discovered that I did really well after my wreck, and then now it's slowly creeping up on me.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I always have a headache, and I just ache.
Yeah.
But also, I hate waking up in the morning feeling like my face is going to implode on itself because of allergies.
Right. That's how I've been for
I'm
the last
super
week.
allergic to dogs, and we have 2 giant black labs that live with us,
What are
like
you-
in
what
my
are you
bed
thinking?
with me. I wasn't.
You wasn't
said
thinking?
that I did not want dogs, and
You
she
had dogs
said,
growing up. Of course, they were outside.
"Yeah," but she said we're either having another kid or we're getting a dog, and I said dog, and we came home with 2.
Dang.
She tricked me.
Matching set. Can't break them up.
Yep.
Can't
Did you
steril.
guys enjoy your birthdays then?
Yeah,
I did.
Yeah.
yeah.
Good. Another
I
year older.
I got a Blackstone for my birthday.
Nice.
I heard about
It's
that.
sweet.
I heard you got
Yeah.
the big dog.
Oh yeah, it's
It's
so
got the
like
air
a-
fryers underneath it.
No,
That's
it's just
okay,
the
yeah.
4-burner. Already done. Of course, smash burgers. I cooked frozen French fries on it and bacon grease.
Yeah.
and it was
Nice.
sweet. And then
Yeah.
last night I cooked steaks on it.
Cool.
Steaks and like smashed potatoes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've done
Yeah,
those.
it's good.
Try Phillies.
Yeah.
Oh, I will.
Those are solid.
I got a whole list of things I'm going to do.
Yeah.
It took like 2 hours to get that thing seasoned
Oh, yeah.
and prepared.
Takes a
and
hot minute.
forever.
I'm glad Annie loves doing that stuff because that's not.
Oh,
for
I
me.
enjoyed it. I just sat on the back porch.
She loves
and
that.
Let
Thing.
it
She gets there
smoke.
and she made burgers tonight and quesadillas.
It's so fast.
Yeah.
Like you have to have everything ready.
Yep.
And if you don't, you're going to
Yep.
blow it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
suggest going to Sam's Club and getting the 2-pound thing of butter
Oh, yeah.
because you're going to go through
Oh, yeah.
a lot of butter
I love butter.
and canola oil.
Yeah. I bought a tub of like bacon grease.
Nice.
Okay.
I know.
How about some Crisco?
And that's what I put it on there. Crisco's great. I put it on there and the fries were amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to the Movies with Chill podcast. I am your host, Chill. Today we'll finally be reviewing Grumpy Old Men from 1993.
Finally. What do you mean? It's only taken
3 weeks.
No, 30 years.
Grumpy Old Men is a romantic comedy directed by Daniel Petrie and written by Mark Steven Johnson, starring Jack Lemmon, Walter Matthau,
Matthau.
and Margret, Burgess Meredith, Daryl Hannah, Kevin Pollak, Oasis Davis, and Buck Henry. A lifelong feud between 2 neighbors since childhood only gets worse when a new female neighbor moves in across the street. Today, as always, I'm joined by David and Lee. How you boys doing tonight?
Fantastic. How are you?
I'm great.
Oi, oi.
Oi, oi.
Oi. Been a minute.
Even though my boys took a shellacking today from Liverpool.
What is? I feel like we're gonna get attacked.
I know, sorry.
What is it?
We're in the basement. This is all wood.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
needs
felt
to
like
be
it was coming down the
insulated.
stairs.
So did I.
Did you not?
Oh, it was probably the
I
dogs.
thought you were Dunsies, man.
Oh, he ain't got a dog that can take me. That's
Right.
for sure.
They're all babies.
Yeah.
Anyway, you guys watch anything new the last 30 years since we've been gone?
Right.
I have.
I'm still on the MCU, but now I'm finally to Luke Cage,
Nice.
and I watched Jessica Jones.
Season one's all right.
You know what? Those episodes could have been 30 minutes long.
Yep.
It could have been half the amount because they drug everything out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I got stuck last time. I didn't finish Jessica Jones and I gave up on it, but I powered through.
Yeah.
And then once I hit Luke Cage and Daredevil and season 2, I mean, like I'm flying through
Oh,
them.
yeah.
Flying through them.
Nice.
So good.
I was really bummed that Mahershala Ali was only in like first half of the Luke Cage season.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
That was very disappointing.
Yeah.
But anyway.
But man, Frank Castle in,
Solid.
in Daredevil season 2 was that the 3rd episode where they're on the roof. That is one of the best episodes of TV.
Yeah.
My God, it
It's
was
solid.
so good. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's what the raid should have been.
Damn.
Goodness.
Sorry.
What's
gets
the
old.
Too
raid?
soon. Too soon.
Never gets old.
What about you, Lee?
I watched The Penguin.
That's
Ooh.
solid.
Solid.
Is it good?
Yeah.
Solid.
Nice.
Like the first episode, it's an hour and like 7 minutes long. I swore it was 2 hours.
Really?
It felt like a movie.
Is it on HBO?
It is.
Ooh.
Or
And it,
Max
like,
or whatever.
The
Yeah.
end of the Batman, the beginning of the Penguin.
Really?
Like no,
See, I
no let off.
loved the Batman.
I did too. I really did. Like I didn't want to like it, and I watched it. And I was like, "Wow, that was good."
Really? It's
Really
true
good.
detective.
That's like my second favorite Batman.
Yeah,
movie
I agree.
Ever.
I loved it so much.
Yeah. And then I watched
Agatha.
All Along.
I haven't watched that yet.
not bad.
We were going to
It's
watch
not
it
bad.
last night, and then the kids were doing something, and Ben wanted to watch it, and then it was like 9:30, and Jalissa's like, "We're all going to fall asleep." So
Right. You would have in the first episode.
yeah, boring.
Oh, terrible.
Yeah.
First episode's terrible.
Yeah, wow.
Second episode though,
Good.
Nice little hook. Well, I did watch 2 episodes of Attack on Titan.
Oh, yeah. I haven't
We
watched them
started
yet.
our new Attack on Anime, which
know.
I hear you are going to join us for.
I am going to join
We're
you for it.
excited.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It was. And bringing Colton in was really cool because you get a fresh, young perspective on things.
Right.
We just got to dial down a couple of things on Colton and we'll be good.
I don't know. I feel like he's the Kramer of the group.
Yeah, but
Which
there's some things we just can't say.
That might be true. I thoroughly enjoy him.
Yeah, he's a good kid.
He was
He
fun
is.
to watch
He's
some
a lot of
terrible
fun.
movies with.
For sure.
He was very nervous, but he got over it real quick.
Yeah.
And he's
When
like,
he
man, I
realized
hope
it's
I'm
just
not
us
awkward.
dudes talking to each
Sitting
other.
down,
hanging out.
talking to
We're
the
having a
basement.
conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Check out a show on Netflix actually called Blue Eye Samurai, which is absolute. I mean, I know it's animated, but it's
Shocker.
like it's solid. It's
Yeah.
got a lot of great voice casting, and there was a lot of people in it that I was surprised that was in it.
Is
I
that
mean,
a series or a movie?
it's just a series, and I think there's only like 8 episodes,
Oh.
but they're all about an hour long, and like the animation in it is just fantastic. I
Wow.
mean, it's incredible. So,
Cool.
but yeah.
Check it out.
For sure. So who picked Grumpy Old Men? Well, we picked Grumpy Old Men because it was both of y'all's birthday
Yeah, that is true.
40
Putz?
years ago.
Yeah.
What was the first time you guys watched Grumpy Old Men?
Back in
Do you remember?
1994.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the theater.
My
Yeah.
dad loved it.
Oh my God. I've seen this movie so many times. It's stupid.
Yeah.
This one and the second one. I
Yeah.
think they're equally as good.
They're equally as good.
Were you guys in high school?
I'm not saying that they're
Good.
perfect movies.
But they're equally as good.
As good. Yeah.
Yes.
Were you guys back in high school?
I
Yeah.
was.
I was middle school.
Well, I'm sure
I
back when you were
graduated in
in,
93. So.
yeah.
How you were, what, an infant?
I was 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure back when you were in high school, though, history was easy because most of them hadn't happened yet.
That's right. That's right.
Hit the button.
Also, I'm
It
sure.
doesn't work if you don't hit the button on
Also,
time.
I'm sure that chemistry was really easy back when there was only 4 elements.
Keep it up there, buddy. Keep it up. I know where you sleep.
Jeez.
All right. Well, let's get into
No
our
wonder this kid likes cartoons so much.
Right?
let's get into our icebreaker this week, which is what was the price of bread when you were a kid? Was it a chicken? I bet you hadn't heard that joke since Henry was king.
Man.
Oh, you probably didn't know that there was more than one King Henry.
Jesus. I feel like I'm being attacked.
Attacked.
Get
This
the-
is payback.
I
You know
guess.
that, right?
It's payback for the raid.
The raid.
I guess. I'll just sit here and take it, though. Make him feel bad.
So
Give him
forget-
nothing back.
Sometimes I forget you guys were so old that the Dead Sea was only 6.
Yeah. True.
Yeah.
Of course, back in my day, we had to run a wagon on your mom because they didn't invent the train yet.
Okay. Do you,
I win.
what do? You prefer boxers or briefs? No, probably for you it just depends.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. All right, let's talk a little bit about the movie before
He's
we get
very
into
proud of
spoilers.
himself.
I
If you
get
could
he
see
is.
his face.
He's very, very proud of himself.
I've been waiting for like 4 years for this thing, man.
He's got a whole nother set of them for Colton for baby jokes.
Oh my
I'm
God.
sure.
Because he
Oh,
tried to
dude.
sit there and tell us that, I just feel old after watching this.
And
I'm
he
like,
said he was
you
20.
need to shut up.
He said he was 21. He was like, yeah, 5 years ago when I watched this. I'm like, oh my gosh.
He goes, 3 years is a long time. I go, yeah, it's a seventh of your lifespan.
Yeah, no kidding. Jerk.
Let's
Lived
talk.
your life twice and then some.
Let's talk a little bit about the movie before we get into spoilers. Grumpy Old Men has a runtime of 104 minutes. It was released December 25th of 1993. Had a budget of $35.1 million and grossed $80.5 million.
What the hell did they spend it on?
Oh man.
Walter Matthau.
Yeah, seriously.
Keeping him alive.
One
And
of-
Margaret's not cheap.
Yeah.
Well,
So here's the top box office for, I think I put December. Yeah, I think it was December, even though it was the 25th. Number 1 was Mrs. Doubtfire.
solid.
Number 2, Pelican Brief.
Yeah.
3, Grumpy Old Men. 4, Philadelphia.
Ooh.
5, Tombstone.
Wow.
6, Beethoven's Second. 7th, Schindler's List.
Wow.
8, The Air Up There. 9, Shadowlands. And
I don't
10,
even know what that is.
Me either.
and 10 is Sister Act 2, Back in the Habit.
Oh, that should have been number 1, baby.
For sure.
Terrible.
But what a happy Christmas.
Oh, dude.
Philadelphia and Schindler's List.
Right?
I'm showing up for Tombstone alone.
Oh, no
Oh,
kidding.
yeah. Couple facts about the movie before we get into spoilers. This is the 6th out of 10 movies this comedic duo getting together between Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau. At the time of filming, Jack Lemmon was 68, Walter Matthau was 73, and Anne Margret was 52.
And Margaret was only 52.
Mm-hmm.
She looked rough for 52.
I mean, yeah, good on them.
Yeah.
After filming this movie in Minnesota in freezing temperatures, Walter Matthau was hospitalized with double pneumonia.
I can
Wow.
see that being 100.
When this movie came out, and Margaret was only 2 years older than you.
Yeah.
That's mind blowing.
Yeah.
Crazy.
You could have had sex with Jack Lemmon.
No, I couldn't have.
He likes them younger ones.
No, I couldn't have.
Yeah. I think he was more interested in that Walter Matthau bath scene. So. Yeah.
He is funny. I'm not going to lie.
So
Going
Dean,
putts.
yeah,
Gunderson!
Gunderson. Dean Martins and Jerry Lewis were strongly considered for the roles of John and Max, respectively, but both declined because of Martin's frail health, which prevented him from taking the role. Martin died in December 1995, right around the exact time that this movie's sequel, Grumpier Old Men from 1995, was released in theaters. What'd you guys think about acting or just anything to do with the movie?
You know, when you get Jack Lemmon, Walter Matthau, and Margret all on the screen together, what do they got, like probably over 200 credits between them?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Easily.
yeah.
You're not going to really complain about their acting.
No.
No, this is not a movie you go into thinking the acting better be good.
Right.
Yeah.
It's exactly what you think it's going to be.
The chemistry between all of them is just point.
It is
Yeah.
point.
You know?
Yeah, it's spot on.
So-
yeah.
Burgess Meredith was
Burgess, I
hilarious.
mean,
Oh,
Hilarious.
hilarious.
I think the best part is I'm pretty sure he improvised all of his lines.
Oh, yeah. The credits is just his bloopers going through. And one of...
Hide the salami.
Yeah. looks like old Chuck is taking the one eye to the optometrist.
But what I like is that the crew wasn't expecting, like,
not
you're
at
getting
all.
genuine giggles out of this
Right.
old man who seems like he doesn't know where he's at all.
Right.
And he knows exactly where he's at. Yeah, he's great.
So would you guys recommend people watch this? And if so, who would you recommend?
Anybody over 40.
Oh, my gosh. Man, I enjoyed the hell out of this movie.
Yeah, but you're well on your way to 40.
I don't know. I would say anyone over 12, 10.
Yeah. I watched it around then.
Because it doesn't matter that it's about old men. It's just funny.
Yeah.
A lot of the jokes, though, are going to go over their heads.
But I mean, there's still like physical comedy. in
Yeah.
it. I mean, I wasn't bored with it. I liked it when I was little. So
Yeah.
But you also have to look at your background.
that's true.
You watched everything.
But also, the jokes in it aren't so dirty that like they're very PG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To where the adult will think it's funny than the kids. You know.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know.
I remember watching this with my grandma and grandpa, and I remember thinking it was hilarious. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I like this movie.
I do too. All right. Well, let's get into spoilers on your account, Lee.
I've forgotten how to count, and I'm so old.
Okay.
Okay.
You want me to bring out your abacus?
I'm sundowning over here, man. I don't tell you.
Oh, God.
Spell it.
I'm going to. All right. Let's get into some trivia.
Abacas. Abacus.
Abacus.
I actually had one when I was a kid. That's what's
I
messed up.
did too as well.
At my grandma's
Yeah.
house.
There's one around.
How many inches of snow are the boys getting at the beginning of the movie?
18.
15.
6 inches.
Damn, I didn't remember it all.
Me either.
What house did Ariel Trix move into?
Across the street from the boys.
That's correct. What was Max's job?
Max's job. Which one was Max? Was that Walter Matthau?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Max is Walter Matthau, and he.
He was a school teacher.
No, that's Anne Margaret's character. She was a teacher, a professor. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
I have no idea. Truck driver.
TV repairman.
That's right.
Oh yeah,
That's right.
Yeah.
I remember
Dang
now.
it,
What was the name of the town?
Wabasha, right?
That's
Wabasha.
correct. Yeah. Who were John and Max's former wives?
John stole
Mary,
the girl from Max. Mm-hmm. But I don't remember her name.
May and Amy.
Amy. What a weird name. I feel like Amy's a more like
Modern.
modern name. Interesting.
How many times had Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau teamed up for movies at this point?
Oh my god.
I literally just said
You
six.
said 6. 6 of 10.
That's correct. Sorry.
We're usually like spot on with trivia, but because
It's
it's been a while.
2 or 3 weeks since I've watched these movies.
Yes, and now I'm like,
Right.
oh.
It's been a
damn
minute.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into our not so long form discussion.
Sweet.
Cool.
Get it.
You got it pulled up.
Get it. Get it. Get it.
good.
Get it. Ooh. Yeah.
Show them girls.
Ooh, yeah.
Was that the Beatles or? Mm-hmm. Okay.
We used to hang out back in the day.
Yeah.
I was the fifth Beatle.
Back when they were kids. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Gotcha.
I was the fifth Beatle. Played keyboards.
Nice.
You were?
Yep.
Nice. So the movie starts off Wabasha,
Cold.
Yeah.
Minnesota.
It's cold up there.
And we get our introduction to the boys living next door to each other.
Yeah.
Morning, dickhead.
Morning, dickhead.
Morning.
You instantly get a feel that they have the love-hate relationship,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
They hate each other, but they wouldn't know what to do without each other.
Absolutely. They spend their time,
Just teasing each other.
ice
Giving each other
fishing.
crap.
They're
Yeah.
retired, obviously.
Obviously, because
Yeah.
they're ancient like
And
me.
I think we figure out pretty quick that wives are gone.
Yep.
Yeah.
They are by themselves and just go and hang out at the same places. But
We find out that, what's his name? Not Max, but
John,
John is dodging the IRS
Yeah.
for the house.
Yeah.
He's knocking on the door and he slips out the window.
yeah.
It falls through
And-
the back. Yeah.
I love the scene where he meets up with Max and the IRS guy says, "Yeah, have you seen Mr. Gunderson?" He's like, "No, I don't know." He goes, "Well, let me think."
Gustafson.
Have you seen Mr. Gustafson? He goes, "Well, let me think. What's he look like?" And he wants to give him away so bad. And
Right.
Jack Lemmon's looking at him like, "Come on, man. Come on, man."
Yeah.
He's like, "Yeah, he's down at the bar with the all male strip club." He's like, "Male strip club, huh?"
Yeah, right. And he just keeps giving him crap the
I loved it.
entire
I
time.
loved it.
Yeah.
That's something I'd do.
Is
Right.
it the beginning of the movie that Max leaves the dead fish in John's truck?
Well, it's after they go fishing for the first time.
Right. And
He
this
catches
is when
his
we
limit
meet
with the
Chuck,
Greek. Yeah.
right? And Chuck owns the bait shop on the edge of the ice fishing lake.
Right.
And he instantly is rolling his eyes like, these guys, here they come. I love that he hits the trash can every single time he pulls
Yeah,
in there, too.
right.
Yeah. And John always complains about the prices of worms.
Yeah.
Every single time.
Like
Yeah.
he's costing him an arm and a leg for
Yeah.
a 10-cent worm. Who's your worm guy?
Inflation, big dog.
That's right.
We also meet, is it Melanie at this point in the beginning of the movie when he discovers that she's left the husband?
Daryl Hannah.
Yeah.
I thought that was after they went fishing the
Yeah,
first
I
time.
think, yeah, might be right. Yeah, I think you're right.
I think they did a
I've seen this movie so many times. It's
Yeah.
all like a jumble in my head.
So-
Yeah.
did a big character dump in the first,
They
15
really
minutes.
do. You meet everyone really quick.
Yeah.
And then Anne Margaret comes out just a little bit later. Like,
Right.
yeah.
And in the middle of the night on her snowmobile.
That's right.
Flying
So
down
it's
the
after
street.
that first scene that it's nighttime and they're eating their dinner. And I think Max is sitting and watching, he's eating his TV dinner that's like
Right.
ridiculous.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah. And watching TV, checking his lotto or something like
And
that.
I think that
He was messing with
Max
John
is-
because he has a remote
Yeah,
for his
and
TV.
he's turning- he's
and
turning
he kept
his TV
shutting
on.
it off every time he get to
Max-
the numbers. And
because Max's son was over there and he's like, "Oh, it's 7:00," and then he grabs the remote and he walks over, and they'd rolled the number down, and he's changing the channel. He's like, "What the hell?"
Listen, I hope that I have a neighbor like that.
Right.
Like, I think that would be so much fun.
For
Just
sure.
to constantly be screwing with somebody.
well, let me know when the neighbor puts their house up for sale. Every
So-
time you come out in the morning, morning, dickhead.
Morning, dickhead. What's he say back? It's not dickhead. What's he?
That's he called, and the very first time he comes out, and he goes, "Morning, dickhead."
Yeah.
But he calls them putts every
Yeah,
other time.
putts.
Yeah.
What's up, putts?
So this is when it's nighttime. The moving truck was outside, right?
Right.
And then it's nighttime, and Anne Margaret is on her snowmobile,
Just
Flying.
ripping it down, up and down
they're
the
like,
street.
what in the heck is going on? Wabasha has
insane.
turned into like, it's just nuts.
Spring break
Yeah.
Yeah.
for the wintertime.
And both the boys are like, oh yeah, when they see her, you know?
Well, they're pissed because they think it's some guy, and then whenever she does her Akira stop in
Yeah.
front of her house, she gets off. You get that iconic. She takes the helmet off, and she's like
Shaking the hair.
and the wind's blowing and
Right.
everything, and the boys are like,
Oh,
"Oh
yeah.
yeah!" As they're peeking out the window. It's a lot of bird watching. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Out
Oh,
the
yeah.
window.
Oh,
She
Yeah.
is a top bird.
Yeah.
yeah. So both the guys like her, but old Chuck swoops in first.
That's right.
Yep.
Chuck's got the cojones to make the move.
Yeah. He's
That's
like,
exactly what he does.
he goes in, and they're all like, "Oh my god,
Damn it, Chuck."
Damn it, Chuck!"
Yeah.
yeah.
So they see Chuck going up to the house with her in the middle of the night. So the very next day, both of them are at the bait shop as soon as it opens.
Right.
Early morning.
Just, what's going on,
Yeah,
Chuck?
how's
How'd
it
go
going?
last night? And Chuck's trying to play it off like, you just
What are you
wouldn't
talking
understand a woman like this.
No,
Yeah.
yeah.
She's one in a million.
Right.
Makes me feel young again. I'm sure she does.
So they start competing for her attention, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Chuck says, one and done, and he's.
Oh, we
he's
missed
about
the
over
part.
it.
Max lost his fishing reel, the Green Hornet.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Drops it down the hole and tries to get it out with the axe. Of course, it's like, 8-10 inches thick.
Oh, yeah.
He's-
These fishing poles are little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like 16 inches, I think.
Something like that. But he's had it forever since
You
he
can
was a
tell,
kid.
yeah.
And he's always used it. He's always caught his limit with it.
but also
his
how he
prized
put
possession.
it down. I was
Right.
like, well, I mean,
He's put it down like he's done 1,000 times
what do
before.
you think's going to happen?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Had to happen eventually.
He gets sucked under the ice and
Yeah.
he loses his
I did
mind.
feel bad for him then.
I
Yeah.
did too. Yeah.
I was like, man, that would suck.
We also meet John's dad at
Multiple
this time,
times.
too. Yeah.
He's so great.
I
He comes
love that-
flying out of his little. They're these tiny little huts.
Shanties.
Yeah.
Shanties, yeah.
Yeah.
There's like a chair, maybe a TV,
Right?
and
Little space heater.
a space heater, and a hole in the ground for them to fish in,
Yeah.
which honestly sounds kind of fun. I'm
For
not gonna
sure.
lie. Besides
Getting
being
auger
cold.
and
Throw your beer down in there.
Right.
And yeah, John is always bringing his dad like a 6-pack, and his
Yeah.
dad's always take like entire 6-pack.
Yeah.
And he gets one.
Right.
But we also, after the fishing, that's when we meet Melanie, who is Daryl Hannah.
Yeah.
And she's separating from her husband, Mike, that John hates.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like,
Can't
thank
stand
God.
him.
Yeah, he's just a piece of crap.
Yeah.
And they
always
never
treated her crappy.
never paint him in a good light, that's for sure.
Never.
No.
Never. And then we find out that Max's son is sweet on
Jacob.
her.
Yeah.
Has been sweet on her since
Forever, yeah.
They've lived next door to each
And
other forever.
Jacob is running to be mayor. So he goes over to John's house and asks if he put a sign in his yard. And
Right.
of course, John's like, absolutely.
anything I can do for
John's
you.
fond of him.
So the address of
Gustafson.
Gustafson is 11291 Chloe Lane, Wabasha, Minnesota, which appears on Grandpa Gustafson's shanty door is actually the address of Slippery's Bar and Grill in Wabasha, Minnesota,
Love
which
it.
is the bar referenced in the film as well. Although his character is supposed to be 94 years old in the movie, Burgess Meredith was in fact 85 years old when this movie was filmed and was only 17 years older than Jack Lemmon, who portrays his son in the movie.
That's crazy.
That's
Yeah.
good stuff.
I mean, he plays the perfect old man
Oh.
that's lived through it all, that doesn't
Just
have a filter.
does not care about
At
anything.
all. Right.
Right.
I forgot that memory is the second thing to go.
Trying to figure out what that first one was.
Oh, sounds like you're already on the third.
I mean, I had to feed it to him. He would have sat there forever until I did.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
This podcast is bullshit.
It
This
is
podcast
bullshit.
is bullshit. So,
All right.
in lighter notes, Chuck dies.
Yeah.
Right after.
Right
Yeah.
after, too. This is really when Max finds out that John's dodging the IRS, because I don't think he knew who the guy was, but he finds out, John's in a little bit of money trouble.
Yeah. More than a little bit. Like,
Right. And they're trying to take his
Take the
house,
house.
trying to take everything. Mm-hmm. And John finally gets the nerve up to go talk to Ariel, and she's interested,
Yeah.
which pisses Max off.
Right.
To the max.
I love the comparison scene where they're both getting ready because they're going to go shoot their shot, and they
Yeah.
both have this little montage where they're getting dressed and then they're trying on different hats
Right.
and,
Yeah.
scrubbing the
Yeah.
tub and everything. And
Even Walter Matthau with his toe. He's like,
Right.
It's ridiculous.
disgusting.
I'm just wondering what he actually thought. Like, did he really think he had a shot?
I mean, maybe. You never know.
Man, his wrinkles had wrinkles.
It's true.
One of the trailers was whenever he's scrubbing in the tub, I guess he said, if I knew that I was going to be fully nude, I would ask for another million.
Oh, my God.
Jeez. Poor guy.
Not to bring it up, but I do love him in Dennis the Menace.
I love him and Dennis the Menace
That's such
too,
a great
man.
movie.
For sure.
I've seen that way too many times.
I always associate this with that movie as well.
They're
so.
about the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
You don't like Dennis the Menace?
Come
I
on,
thought it was
bro.
like a perfect
was
kids
alright.
movie.
Oh, yeah.
It's so good.
I
I'm not a
watched-
kid anymore.
I know, but what's his name as the hobo?
I've only
It's
seen that
Doc
movie.
Brown.
I've only seen that movie one time.
Seriously?
One time was enough.
With the beans and oh gosh. Hilarious.
Mr. Wilson.
Yeah. Mr. Wilson.
It's good. I think it's a great movie.
For sure.
Stands the test of time. Because they film it like it's like a 50s movie, even though it's not. So
Yeah.
For another time.
Oh,
it is
God,
for another
no.
time.
John goes over and he's with Meredith's character, Ariel, and they're kind of having a good time. She's talking about she hasn't been with anybody since her husband died.
His was like 15 years.
Right.
Yeah, it was 1978.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They kind of form a relationship, and after this night, Max is just absolutely pissed. He's going up to meet Ariel at her house in the morning. He doesn't know that John went there,
And it's coming out. Walk
so
of
he's
shame.
absolutely pissed.
I thought she went to his house because she locks the door and then they go upstairs.
Oh, yeah. She's leaving his house. It's her leaving
His house.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Because he goes over there and he goes home, and then she comes over.
And then he says something about, well, I'm just, getting ready to go to bed. And she's like, oh, and then she locks the door.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh.
Oh, that's right.
All right. Message
So-
received.
Yeah.
Incoming. And then she's like hopping out the next morning. And
She's like, hi, Max. And he's like, damn it.
Gustafson.
They get into a actual argument over it. He basically tells John, how are you going to support this woman when you're about to lose everything? You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
And it causes them just to be absolutely pissed at each other. Before this, the last time that John went fishing, he found the Green Hornet.
Well, Burgess Meredith found it.
Oh,
and
that's
gave
right.
Gave it to him. John was so pissed
That
that
he
he
snapped
snaps
it.
it in half.
Yeah.
Which I thought, dude, that's a dick move.
For sure.
yeah, I think he instantly knew it was a dick move.
Instantly knew.
Yeah.
Because it really was. I mean, I've been pissed at people
I think
before.
that's what snapped the tension between the two. I think he was like, shit, I took it too far.
That'd be
Yeah.
like me smashing Castle Grayskull
Right.
at your house.
Right.
And Jay would
He would have died.
torn me in half.
Yeah.
But
John does try and fix it up, though, and then he gives it back.
Yep.
But
the damage is done.
and that's when Max is like, yeah, this guy. So he gets in his truck, and then he starts pushing his shanty all the way out into thin ice.
That was great.
And it causes.
And
it
the
to go
argument
down.
is that Max was in love with John's wife in high school.
Right.
And John married her. But then she ended up like cheating on John.
Right.
And wasn't like.
Was a terrible person.
And Max's wife ended up being like the one that
Yeah.
was lovely and like,
Right. He was like,
and-
did you a favor.
yeah. You did him a favor. And I think that blind eye, you just can't see past it.
For sure.
You get to that age, when's that opportunity going to come back around?
Right.
I can understand it being old.
I love the fact that you have both of these very much older gentlemen, and then Burgess comes out and he's like, "What the hell are you boys doing? Get the hell out of here!" What? And then he starts yelling at everybody. I mean,
Sorry,
he's like
mister.
a head shorter than
He's
everybody
the
else
man
there.
you don't mess with,
Yeah,
though.
And Max is like, sorry, Mr. Gustafson.
yeah.
I thought that was great.
Right.
I'm sorry, Mr. Gustafson.
Sorry. Yeah, they both walk off with shame, and then he's like, "You guys, what the hell are you all looking at?" And the whole crowd,
Spot on.
Yeah, the whole crowd that's like looking's like, "Oh, sorry, Mr. Gibson," and they start walking
He
off
goes
too.
back in his shanty.
Yeah,
Freaking great.
I love that they have a
loved
little
it.
concession stand that sells like gum and stuff.
Right,
out of
right.
a truck.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
awesome.
telling you, what a fun community that would be to live
For
in.
sure. And so, yeah, Minnesota.
No, thank you.
So
Ain't no
once all
Vikings
this
fan.
happened, John realizes, you know what? The IRS is coming.
I better work it out.
I'm not going to be able to support Ariel. And he breaks it off with her, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, you know what?
You're a fool.
You have to take risks and you have to take your shot and you're just going to walk away from it. But
Right.
John becomes mopey then.
I'm just going to say maybe it's like male pride, especially back in like your 80s going into 90s. But shit, man, I don't know about her house, but her house seemed a lot cleaner. And she was also a college professor. So I'm just saying, like,
Move in.
Yeah. Yeah.
there's no shame in that whatsoever.
None.
Yeah. Her house was awesome,
For sure.
but it smelled like patchouli
Yeah.
for sure.
Oh my gosh.
So we kind of skip a little bit on this, right?
Yeah.
And Jacob is now elected mayor. Yep. And Max and Ariel don't necessarily have something going on, but they're like besties. They're hanging out, you know.
Max is winning
Max
more.
is wanting more, but I think
She's not
Ariel's
giving
just
it to
like,
her.
yeah, we're just friends, you know. And it's Christmas time at this point in time.
Yeah.
And Melanie comes home with Mike.
But after Max and John both told Max's son, like,
Hey.
hey,
Take your shot.
coming
take your
over.
shot. She's
Shoot your
coming
shot.
over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now's the time. time.
And he comes over with the mistletoe.
Yeah.
And he's there.
And and Mike answers the door, and you're like, oh shit. Pisses John off.
Right.
He's upset, and he's like, I'm going to go drink it out. Mm-hmm. And he goes to the bar.
Right.
And
Max's son.
Yeah. And Jacob is like, Max,
You need to figure this.
You need to go
out.
fix your friend.
Yeah.
Quit acting like this. Mm-hmm. Quit acting like you guys don't love each other, because
Yeah.
you do. You know, you've known each other your entire lives. You're just grumpy old men. Yeah. But John gets Melanie the same warning that Errol gave him.
Yeah.
You're blowing it. You know, you're wasting your time, and take your best shot. Like, why are you wasting your time with Mike?
Yeah.
When you have this guy in front of you. So,
Which I love that it's Shooter McGavin.
Right.
right.
It's because he eats little pieces of shit like you for breakfast.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Goodness.
Max goes down there, right? But
Max goes down the bar.
but it doesn't go well.
Not at all. They get into a huge argument over stupid stuff again. And it causes John to get worked up, and then he walks outside.
Storms out of the bar, walking down the
And
street.
he looks over, and John sees like a family eating. I think, is it Thanksgiving dinner? Or is
It's
it Christmas?
Christmas.
Yeah, it's Christmas.
Yeah.
And then he has a heart attack because he gets so upset over the argument and everything. And,
Right.
you know, there's like a real tension here. First part of the movie, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's
Yeah.
been a comedy up until this point. And you're like, oh shit, like, is he going to die?
But this is also when you really see how much they care about each
Right.
other.
Right,
Because
yeah.
Max comes out of the bar and finds him
and
and
goes up,
loses it.
beats up
Yeah.
on the door, telling him to call an ambulance.
Yeah. You can tell he's like scared. He does
Saved
not
his
want to
ass.
lose him.
Saved his ass.
Yeah.
Find out he had a heart attack. He's at the hospital. Max checks in, and the nurse is like, family or friend. And it took him a second, but he was like, friend. Goes and tells Ariel what happened.
I don't think we see that, though. He just sees friend, and then John wakes up, and Ariel is sitting by his bedside, and she's like, I lost my husband on New Year's or whatever, and if you died on Christmas, then you're going to ruin every holiday for me. So
Right.
she kind of makes it known that I'm here for you, big dog.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Big high five.
Yeah. We pretty much figure out that they get back together at this point in time.
Yeah.
But the next scene is one of my favorites. And it's where the IRS trying to come and take the house, and they basically Home Alone it.
Yeah.
He's spraying the roof down with water so all the ice will slip off, or all the snow will slip off of it.
Right.
And they're barricading the house, and it's just a great scene with the poor guy from the IRS.
Max's son doesn't know that they're doing this. The idea is whenever somebody goes, and this was played off earlier in the movie, John does this to Max where they spray the water overnight so that when it snows, then the snow will collect on top of the ice. And whenever someone goes up to the door and then bangs on the door, that it'll shake the ice loose, and then all of that.
And this has got to be
snow-
like a Minnesota thing,
Yeah.
because I didn't know. I mean, I learned about this from this movie.
Right.
So I was told not to do this because I guess the
It's
amount
not
of
good.
snow that could call down could crush you. Same with like icicles and stuff like that.
Right.
So that's a mom lesson for you.
And Max
you know?
also, as the IRS guy is trying to get in the house, Max throws a dead fish in his car.
Yeah.
Which I love that's always the trick.
For sure.
Because it's so cold, it takes forever for it to rot.
Yeah.
So it can be
takes
in there
weeks.
forever.
Yeah, before they start smelling it. Yeah, Max's son comes up to the IRS guy, and he's kind of explaining to him, like, we bought the house, basically. And
You don't get anything.
The whole town is getting together. And Max and John are just kind of standing off to the side, and they're like, hey, get away from the door.
Right.
Get away from the door.
Right.
It's all going to come down. And he's like, no, it's fine. And
Finally done.
And then the snow comes down and hits them both. And
Good stuff.
It is a great scene.
And after this, we get like a flash forward.
It's springtime.
Or spring. John was still kind of having issues with his heart attack that he had, and having a little bit of complications is kind of what they lead on. So when it flashed forward, everybody's walking up to this church, and they're all wearing black, even including Ariel.
You think it's a funeral.
And you see Walter Matthau's Max going up. He's standing up by the altar, and you're like, oh,
Did John die?
what's
Oh, no.
going on? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then John comes up, and you're like, oh, it's a wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah. So him and Ariel get together and
Get married.
as they're coming out throwing the rice, Max goes over, he takes that fish again, and he throws it
in the
their
limo.
limo.
It was great.
It was great. Melanie is officially divorced.
Yep. So
And
they're-
they start their own little romance.
Finally.
And we get Margret and John.
Driving off.
Yeah, and he's like, what's that smell?
yeah.
Rolls down the window and
Throws
tosses
it
out
out.
the fish.
And Walter Matthau just laughs. Yeah.
Putts.
Yeah. And then
That's
roll
it.
credits. Yeah.
And the credits on this too, like I sat through the entire time because it's just the bloopers from the entire movie.
We didn't give his dad enough credit.
Not at all.
I mean, he really is like the biggest comedic relief
Yes.
in this entire movie.
Yes.
He's hilarious.
Yeah, every scene
Completely
he's in is
inappropriate.
just perfect.
Right.
Yeah.
He's always making jokes, always cracking one-liners.
They're always dirty.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. And it's hilarious. So.
You know what I would be doing?
And I love how many takes it was whenever they're both watching the guy that owns the bait shop and they're walking up, and then Burgess gives off probably 10 to 15 takes where he's telling a different joke throughout the
Every
credits.
time.
You hear the cast and crew just cracking up in the background. I can't imagine that they had a hard time filming this movie at all. I'm sure it was so much fun for these guys.
I bet it was very professional.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
right.
sure. Yeah.
This is the end of the career. I don't give a shit.
Right? What are
Right.
you going to do?
Yeah, what are you going to do? Fire me? Yeah, like what? It
Jack
doesn't.
Lemmon. I'm Walter Matthau. What are you
I'm
gonna do?
in this for you. Like
Right.
I'm doing you a favor at this point in time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So on a broadcast for the Rich Eisen show, actor Kevin Pollak related that he was first introduced to Walter Matthau in the role as his son in the movie by the film's director. Pollak then engaged in small talk with Matthau, commenting, "So Walter, the script's pretty good, huh?" And Walter, famously for having serious gambling problems, replied, "The script sucks, kid. I owe my bookie $2 million."
Yeah, that's about right.
So,
Sucks, kid, but oh my bucket.
right.
We're going to do it.
Yeah, Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon, they're just comedic geniuses. I mean,
yeah. They were, yeah.
50s, 60s, 70s, when they were
Crazy.
Fortune Cookie and The Odd Couple
Yeah.
and some of these classic.
I agree.
Good stuff.
Good stuff.
All right. Well,
Who wants to go first? Not
first, does somebody want to give off our ratings?
Not
You guys
it.
even remember?
Well, our
80
ratings
points
are
apiece.
I think
as
there's like a
follows.
niner in there somewhere.
Right.
We have an S through F tier system. S being the greatest, A, B, C, D. And then F being trash, terrible, don't watch it. And then you've got your gradient there. You can figure it out.
C is like your average film.
C's
though.
your average, might watch it again, might not, who knows.
Right.
Yeah. No, I'd say C, maybe. If it's on, like, yeah, maybe. Right?
Yeah.
Like, whatever.
For sure.
But D, nah.
Right,
Like,
so-
it's a clicker.
What's your review of Grumpy Old Men then? there,
Mine,
Dave?
I'm going to give it a solid B.
Okay.
I think that it's a classic. I think that if it's on, I'll watch it and laugh. There's no real dead spots in the movie. I think it's enjoyable. I definitely have watched it again and again.
Yeah.
It's not one that I think I seek out, but if it's on, I'll watch it.
Right. Right.
So I think the acting's great. The settings are great. It's just a fun movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
my gosh.
B. B.
Johnny Raincloud.
Well-
I give this a D.
Yeah.
I don't give it a B, but I give it a C plus. I don't hate it, but I like the movie, but it's not a movie that I'm gonna seek out to watch again. I think I've just don't
Grumpy.
enjoy those kind of films anymore.
Yeah.
They're fluff to me.
Oh, it's a total fluff.
Total
Yeah.
fluff piece.
Yeah.
And
But
there's
sometimes
nothing
I
wrong
need
with
that.
it.
No.
There's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with it. To me, if I'm going to sit down and watch a movie, I want to be enthralled with the movie. And that movie's, it's one of those time
it's like
passers.
a once every 10 years
Yeah,
type
it's a movie that
Yeah.
it could
Like-
be on in the background and I wouldn't have a problem with it. I wouldn't change it.
Right. You would know it what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be like, ooh, you know what I want to do? I'm going to sit down and watch Grumpy Old Men today.
You're right. Right.
That'll never happen.
Yeah.
So I give it a C plus. Again, acting's good. The comedic timing's excellent.
Story's good.
All
All of
four,
it's really-
all four of the
it's fine.
big actors are great. Kevin Pollak and Daryl Hannah did their jobs just fine. There's nothing wrong with the movie at all. It's just not for me anymore.
Yeah. Makes sense.
I got you. So whenever I sat down and said I was reviewing this movie, I was over at my mom and dad's and I said, "Hey, you guys want to watch a movie?" I said, we're going to do it for the podcast." And like, "Oh, what movie?" And I said, "Grumpy Old Men." And they're like, "Oh, really?" And then we sat down and man, as soon as we hit play, we were just laughing the entire time.
Yeah. That is definitely the type of movie it is.
You're right. So I think that you guys kind of both nailed it on the head. That I'd probably give it like a B minus. It's not something that people are going to go seek out, but at the same time, if you haven't seen it, I would recommend that you watch it because it
Yeah.
is fun. Like you guys were saying, there are dirty jokes in there, but it's kind of like Shrek where kids aren't going to know
No.
the jokes that are coming. The scene where Walter Matthau and Ariel are in the fishing shack is one of my favorite scenes of the whole movie. And as a kid, like I didn't get the joke because they're in this confined space. She's being over exuberant with her voice. She's like, "Oh my gosh, oh look how big it is.
Right.
Oh my
Right.
goodness."
And everyone's like
And it was
looking
like,
at the
"Oh my
shack."
gosh."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, here it comes, here it comes." And they're trying to catch fish and she's like, "Oh my gosh, it's so big."
It's
And
very well like
Yeah.
written for
Innuendo.
Yeah.
And I love the part where she's like, the catch and then the release. And he's like, release?
No.
What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
'cause they
release?
finally catch,
it's
like,
this
the fish,
monster
right? Yeah.
fish. And she's like, oh, that's the best part. Let it go. Whee! And then she, lets it back into the
And no
hole.
one believes.
Before he
Yeah.
could get a picture.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, he's
So-
trying to get the camera. and-
Right,
yeah.
right.
Good stuff.
But yeah, I think B-. It's fun, but it's not something that I'm going to seek out. It's going to be one of those where, we're kind of scrolling and like, oh, you've never seen, this. Let's put it on. It's pretty funny,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think?
B-.
B-?
B-.
I'm
Yeah.
good with the B-.
Yeah.
All right.
Right
cool.
in the middle. Cool.
Sounds good. Well, happy birthday to both of you grumpy old men.
Thanks,
you.
Putz.
Yep.
Dickhead.
No problem.
Podcast is bullshit.
It is bullshit.
Bye.
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 Hello and welcome to Postcast. I wanted to say thank you to all our loyal and new listeners. Shout out to all our new listeners and subscribers. Thank you for helping us and supporting us on this journey. We want to invite you all to check out our Facebook or check out our Reddit sub. Be sure to tell us what you think the movie should be rated or what movie we should record next. And be sure to follow us wherever podcasts are found. Look for our next episode, Attack on Anime, this Thursday, October the 3rd, followed up by our next movie review, Monday, October 7th. We hope you've enjoyed our program just as much as we did recording for you. Thank you, and stay tuned for our next episode.